done now.
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking at you, give me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And he joins us right now on the show, ESPN 97.5, 92.5. We're really excited to talk to him. He is the author of Unbreakable, How I Turn My Depression and Anxiety into Motivation, and You Can Too. The paperback edition is out. Jay Glazer is on the show. Jay, how we doing this morning, man?
Oh, living the dream this morning. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. Look, congratulations on the book. I know you had the hardcover come out last year, I believe, and now the paperback is out. Over this last year, tell me, what kind of stories have people come up to you with after reading the book?
Oh my God, it's been life changing for me. And and I wanted to write this book. Y'all have seen the crazy, Glaze character that I built up over all these years. And look, when you come from the world of football and fighting, being crazy is a badge of honor. You just didn't know what kind of pain I was in. And I created that character to hide that pain. And, I now wrote the book so I can give a word. Like we talk mental health, but how are you supposed to talk about it if you don't have the words to describe it? So one thing God blessed me with the ability to do is to communicate. So in very colorful words, very Jersey-like words, I really describe what it's like to have depression, anxiety, ADD, bipolar, what these, every day of my life. Like every day of my life is already get up out of bed. And my life is great. Don't get me wrong. My life's amazing. But between my ears is a wasteland. It sucks. And every single day, I wake up in the morning, every day. That includes this morning. It's hard for me to get out of bed feeling sky is falling. Everything's against me. The universe hates me when the universe doesn't hate us. It conspires to help us. And like I said, I really want to give it words for us to have these conversations, because now that I'm able to open up to my friends about it and talk to them about it, my life has changed. I just got engaged for 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
53 years old. It's the first time I've ever felt like worthy of being loved. The first time I didn't sabotage a relationship and push someone away, because I did that in the past because I felt I wasn't worthy of being loved. And now I get messages from people. I got a grandmother who's 80 years old saying, thank you for the first time in 80 years. I now know how to have the conversation with my husband and kids and grandkids. Or girl dad saying, wow, I can now talk about this with my daughter. But the coolest one for you here is there's a man named Keith Madden, and I use his name because he's been on my podcast and talked about it. He was living in Clemson, South Carolina, He was on his way to Hilton Head, South Carolina to kill himself. And he had a 3-day plan to commit suicide on the third day. And he stopped off at Target to get some supplies for the 3-day trip. And one of the things he picked up was my book. And he said, I started reading it day 2, finished it the morning of day 3, packed up my stuff and went home. There was no longer any reason to kill myself. And not only has he done that, he's since gone out and bought 40 copies of it, and with it, hands it out with notes with his phone number on it, giving it to people saying, my name's Keith Madden. This book saved my life. I think it could really help you. I want to be a new teammate. Here's my phone number. If you're struggling, I got your back. I mean, incredible what the trickle down effect of what this book has done. It's cooler than anything I could ever do in the world of TV.
Man, that is an incredible story right there. And you know what, man, Jay, like this time that we're living in we're allowed to have these conversations more openly than we were before. Can you talk about maybe the male? Because, the male ego, more than anything, we have to be tough, a little bit machismo. Hey, there's nothing wrong, brother. We just keep it moving. We kind of grit and bear it. That's my grandfather's in World War II. My dad was born in the 40s. This is just how they are, right? Where do you think the conversation changed? Why do you think that we're now more open to having these conversations with people? Like when I talk to a friend of mine nowadays, just another guy friend of mine, I always tell him, hey, brother, love you at the end of it. That's not something that people did 20 years ago.
I think we need to now because it's a scary world. And look, my level is clinical, right? But whether you have my level of clinical depression, anxiety, and ADD, and we're not, we're all going through something because social media makes us think our lives suck. Mm-hmm. Like we're comparing ourselves to everybody else's filtered fraction of 1 second of a day. And we think, man, how come I'm not that successful? Why am I not at that party? How come my meal doesn't look like that? And man, we're getting shamed every 2 seconds. Or on Twitter, and in the book I have a line from Sean Payton, hurt people. And we live in such a hurt world these days because we feel so left out. On Twitter, everybody's looking to hurt each other. They're saying the worst things to each other. And the human condition is not meant for that. So I think at some point here, we're all going down such a bad rabbit hole. And you see, suicide is an epidemic right now. As a society, I think we need to start fighting back and doing something. I think the best way was for us to start to get real and vulnerable. And, it's funny because I trained, Fox made me stop fighting in 2004 when I signed with them. So I had to learn how to start coaching guys. And me and Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell built up the first mixed martial arts cross-training program for pro athletes in the country. And we've trained 1,000 pro athletes. I'll throw a number out there, something along those lines. And in that training, we're like at fault. We're doing exactly what you're saying. We show these guys, hey, if you're hurt, don't show it. If you're tired, don't show it. If any of our fighters are hurt, you'll never, ever, ever know it. And now we're saying, hey, we need you to flip the script and do the complete opposite in the world. And, that's the problem is that, we were all ingrained to not show our pain, to not show hurt. The only way we're going to get through it now is to start showing it. And I'll tell you this, okay? The first time I kind of really opened up to my boys about this was the Tampa Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I called Rondé Barber and 3 other friends, and I said, hey, man, I need to do dinner tonight. And they're like, we all got plans. I'm like, no, I need to do dinner tonight. I'm struggling. I need some help. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll cancel. I'm in. And that's the first time I had done that. And every single one of them, like I said, they canceled the plans. They showed up. And they're like, why haven't you told us? I'm like, I haven't really known how to tell you. And so here I go. And once I started doing that, I'm like, man, I can really start opening up now and really start doing this. And then every time it happened, I would call someone. I would call 4 people and tell them I'm struggling. So again, I just took the plunge. I hope this book helps other people take that same plunge. Because every time I've opened up to someone, nobody's called me a wuss. Nobody's told me to suck it up. Nobody's told me not to show it. Nobody said, oh, stop, Glaze, your life is great. What are you complaining about? They have all shown me compassion and brotherhood.
The book is called Unbreakable, How I Turn My Depression and Anxiety into Motivation. You can too. The paperback version is available right now. Jay Glazer joins us. Jay, I have time for one more question. It was a few weeks ago. It was the opening of the XFL here in Houston. I went down to the game. I got to spend some time with Dwayne Johnson for the first time. Get to talk to him, have that relationship, try to build it. Man, he was so warm. He was so generous. It was something I'll never forget. He writes the foreword to the book. Y'all have a great relationship. Talk to me about the relationship that you had and how it's helped you on this journey.
Man, he doesn't write book forward, but he said, you're going to be the voice for the grave for all of us, him included. I thought that was pretty damn brave of him, for all of us. And he didn't just write the foreword. He interviewed me for it. He and I did Ballers for 5 years. We've known each other for a long time. But now the relationship is morphed into something bigger. We do constant mental health checkups on each other. Constant. And we've gotten so good now, I could tell when something's off with him just by seeing him on something. I can tell when something's off, and I'll shoot him a message and call him, shoot him a note. And if I'm right, I talk him through it. At the same time, he constantly checks up on me. We have a rule. If either one checks up on each other a certain day, we must get back to each other that day. We cannot let it linger after that. Something's going on, we have to. man, he's the most authentic friend I have. He's the busiest guy in the world, and yet takes time to make sure that the roommates in my head are talking nice with each other. I do the same with him.
Incredible, man. Incredible. Well, you know what? Your story is inspirational. Hey, everybody, listen to what he said about that social media, too. Comparison is the thief to joy. Don't compare yourself on the social media. Jay Glazer, the book is called Unbreakable.
It's fake, man. It's filtered. It ain't real.
It's not real.
A fraction of a second. A picture is less than 1 second. What about the other 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 and a half seconds?
Exactly, man. Really appreciate you joining me this morning. This book was going to help people change their lives. Make sure you go out there and get it. Jay, thanks so much, brother.
Appreciate it.
Hurry up, tape running out.